So it looks like we have all board members present. Let me call the meeting to order at, I have 7:01. Board members present. All board members are present except for Michelle Skomersky, who had a commitment. I think her daughter is playing lacrosse. In person, I have Joanne, Deanna, and Frank, and myself. And then virtual, we have John Dunn, Jennifer Massey, Kathleen Curtin, and Mark Mann, also present at the board meeting. So 8 of the 9 members. So with that, please rise and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The purpose of tonight's special meeting is to really discuss bids for a project, as we said last meeting, and then maybe any updates we might have in the budget, given the state, where they are, the status in terms of the state budget. So with that, first order of business will be the public forum, and I'll read our information. And we do have, is the email is posted, Peter, and good to go? Very good. Anything come up yet? Okay. So residents, students, employees, and business representatives of the East Greenbush Central School District may address the board on matters concerning programs and/or operations of the district other than matters involving personnel. Members of the board do not directly respond to citizen concerns during the public forum. If a response is appropriate, either the president or superintendent will contact the individual in the near future. Those persons wishing to address the board will be recognized by the chair of the meeting and should state for the record their name and address or affiliation with the district or business. While the board does not wish to infringe upon free speech protections, it must be stressed that the visitors forum is not deemed to be an open forum. The board president will conduct the forum for the orderly and efficient operation of board business. In addition, any remarks which may be considered defamatory or stigmatizing are prohibited will be declared out of order. So as we have done in the past or virtual, we have an email set up for the public to send in any comments. Linda, do we have any comments?
There are no comments.
No comments. Okay, very good. So rather than go into the board forum at this point, in the order of the agenda this year is this meeting is the regular business, and we're going to talk about the bids for the Phase 3 project, and we have some guests here. So I'll turn over to Mr. Simons.
Thank you, Mr. Buono. I appreciate the board and the administrative team making themselves available for an extra meeting this month. The timing of beginning of our construction on Phase 3 of the project is important that we get the board's approval for the bids, answer any questions that you might have, because we would like to start the work later this spring. So Lynn Ellsworth, who is our construction manager from St. Reuben, and Steve Wickman, who is on virtually from March Associates, and Paul Bickle, who is our director of facilities, are here to give a brief overview of the scope of the project, Phase 3, as kind of a reminder, and then also discuss how the bids came in and our recommendations for award. So whoever wants to start, Paul or Lynn, feel free to, you can step forward, just try to remain as socially distanced as you can.
All right. I just want to repeat what Mr. Simon says. We really appreciate the board taking time to have this extra meeting. It's going to give us a jump start on our Phase 3 of the project. We just got bids in last week, and the purpose why we really want this extra board meeting is to be able to get this approved, and mainly for the contractor's sake, because of COVID, there's long lead times on a lot of materials. So things that are needed, even to start this summer, we want to get on order as soon as possible. So again, thank you everybody here in person and here virtually for chiming in this evening. Just a couple notes. We are going to be going over, there's actually 6 different things that went out to bid. Tonight we're here to approve 5 of them. The one that will be approved at the next board meeting, hopefully, is the site work, and we need a little extra time on that just to confirm turf types and things like that, to finalize and get that to the board. So We're hoping to have that all done actually within the next couple days, and then we will send a letter to the board also regarding that part of the phase. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Steve Wickman, our architect, and he is going to give everybody a basic refresher on phase 3 and what's expected to happen.
Thanks, Paul. Very similar to the work we did in phase 2. We're going to be doing that same similar type work in phase 3, just at a different building. So in phase 3, we're concentrating on Citizen Genet, Belltop, DPS, and Columbia. I'll give you a very brief overview on what we're doing at each one of the buildings. So at Citizen Genet, we're doing some pavement replacement work. That's the district office pavement around the side of the building and back by the playground. We're going to replace those lots. We're replacing a majority of the windows in the building as part of the project. We're doing toilet room reconstruction. That's mostly public toilet rooms, similar to what we did at Green Meadow. We're refinishing the gym floor. We're doing some stone masonry restoration work. That's the coping stone around the perimeter of the building that's been covered up. And we've got some mechanical work for rooftop units and water heater replacement. So in a synopsis, that's the general for Citizen Genet. And I probably missed a couple of smaller items, but that gives you a flavor of what we're doing there. Very similar work at Belltop that we did at Green Meadow last year. We're doing the classrooms with the enlarged ADA bathroom, cubbies, same type of work, a little bit different configuration because they're different size rooms at Belltop. We're also doing the public toilet rooms or reconstructing those, and that includes some asbestos abatement. We're refinishing the gym floor, just like we did at Green Meadow and Red Mill. We are we're removing some old plumbing equipment, including a tank, re-roofing the original building and the 98 and 95 classroom addition. We're repaving the lower parking lot, and we're doing some lighting control in the building. The lighting controls are pretty outdated and pretty shot. Very similar over at DPS. We are doing classroom renovations with an enlarged ADA bathroom. We're doing public toilet room reconstruction for ADA accessibility. We're refinishing gym floors. And at this building as well, we're doing some re-roofing work on the original building, the asphalt portion, or the slate portion. We're actually going to use a synthetic slate that matches the look of the original. And we're doing rubber roofing on the 56 and 98 additions. We are repaving the front entry drive and the front parking lot as part of the project. And there's lighting control work to do at this building as well. At school, there's a couple of chillers that need to be rebuilt. We're doing that with Train under state contract. We're replacing a hot water heater. We've got some minor revisions in the tech room spaces. We have gym walk draw curtains to complete in the main gym. A seemingly insignificant item that's very important is we're going to enclose the entryways, the canopy soffits, so the birds can't nest in them anymore and create whatever difficulties they create. So that all gets closed in. The front steps are probably one of the biggest items at the high school that we're taking care of. And of course, we have the track replacement and the field lighting. And we're also going to suggest we take the alternate to do the student parking lot at Columbia. And like I said, I've probably missed a couple items, but that gives you a flavor for what we're doing. Very similar to the work that we're going to be doing for phase 2 schools that we completed last summer and some we're doing this summer.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, to give you a quick overview of the bids that came in, we had 6 bidders for the site work, which we'll be talking about at the next meeting. And we had 20 bidders for the 5 contracts that we're talking about tonight. There were hundreds of people that we contacted, but that's in your memo. You can read that later, or if you haven't already. The interesting thing about these contracts, we were surprised, frankly, at the numbers that were received. The expectation going into this through the late winter and early spring was that with all the COVID delays and the prices of, you've probably heard wood going up 75% since a year ago, that there would be some inflation. So we were figuring somewhere 5 to 10%. We did an analysis afterwards, after we got the bids, tried to pull out of phase 2 the comparable work that was being done to what was bid for phase 3. And the bids this year, to your benefit, were anywhere from 18% to 24% less than comparable work last year. The way this hit the market was really good for you guys. What we had heard during the bid process was that people were still looking to get enough work in their backlog so that they were comfortable this summer that they could keep their labor working. So you folks benefited immensely. So that is really how we got to where we are. And what that means is you've got an opportunity to do even more, which I think Steve is going to work on or tell you about also.
Very good.
I'll take that part, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, so we came in quite significantly under. Prior to going out to bid, we had a series of meetings that let us kind of break down based on estimates that Santa Ruben had done internally on the project. We used those numbers to base our bids and what we thought we could comfortably put out to bid, what we could do as base bid, and what we could do as alternates. So tonight we're here to ask you to accept everything, all base bids and alternates, because of the significant underpricing from what was expected. We turn out with quite a bit of favorability to the district, and with that money, we're going to go back and we're going to look at those items that we took out during the meeting. We're going to try to put those back in. So just a quick brief of what we're looking to do at each school. At Belltop, originally they were looking to get some additional paving done there for additional parking lot space. So we're going to look into that and hopefully gain some parking lot space behind the building. As you know, Halloween and big events at Belltop, there's a shortage of parking. So we want to make sure we have can get as much in as we can. At Columbia, we are going to look to the lighting controls. We originally took that out because that had a number right around $1 million on it. So that was a big one we were going to take out and possibly do down the road. We're going to try to put that back in and also do a couple other minor things around this building. Going down to Janae, the big win for the district there is the windows at that building. We think we can, as it was put out, base bid and alternate, it still was not the complete building. So now we think we can actually complete the building, doing the admin wing and also some of the larger window units in the gym and the auditorium. So that's very favorable. Also, something that came out at DPS was the windows. So we're going to put those back in, put that out to bid. This will be one complete bid package for all the schools here. Let's see, going to Green Meadow, we are going to look to pave the rear lot there and also pave the new student drive that was put in. So we can clean up that area behind there and actually widen it a little bit so that one issue that came up there is some people can't get out. So if we widen the part that's on the school property, they'll be able to sneak out past other cars as people are dropping their students off. Going over to Red Mill, we're going to do just a couple minor things. We have a little bit more abatement we need to do to clean up some things from phase 1. And we're going to do a little extra work on the rear steps at that building. The rear platform that was just added, we're going to look to add some steps to that go to the right, so you can exit over that way as well. And at Goff, we are, just so everybody knows, we are getting all the roofs done. There was some question as to whether the roofs were going to be left in or out. We had some roofing issues over the last couple months, and all the roofs are back in. So that's a big win for the district. So that's a general overview. I mean, overall, it's a big win for the district, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can put into this next bid and put out for to get into this favorable market for pricing. So that's our hope, and we'll bring that to you once we have it.
Great. Any questions for the team, board members? No? Anybody here? No? Good? All good? Well, it's very encouraging to hear the bid numbers, and extremely encouraging. And I think that to be able to allow us to do those other alternative site work and things like that, extremely beneficial to the community to have a lot of that done. Just a question on when the bids go out and come back in, do we anticipate that work being done when? Yeah, just get a microphone, Lynn, thanks.
Well, then you might have to repeat what you said because virtual folks can't hear.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's got a
folks.
microphone now.
It'll take a few weeks for Steve's crew, the architects, to get the bid packages pulled together, and then we get them out on the street and give people time to do it. So in round numbers, we would probably be looking at being able to receive bids the end of May, which makes this coming summer really tough. We've been looking at the possibility that Jeff doesn't know about of doing his office windows during December.
I have a winter coat with a liner, and I have a couple of Columbia
it?
hats that I could wear from Mr. Leonard. So,
But we are looking at, are there options to be able to get started during the school year without disrupting school, obviously, but so that we can get that going before having to pile all that work into the following summer.
Following summer, right. Okay, very good. No other questions or comments? All right, excellent job. Good to see we're heading further down the road on the phases and being able to do that work. So with that, I'll need a motion to approve the resolution regarding the accepting of the bids. John, second. Jennifer, all those in favor? Mark Mann has your hand raised. I can't hear. I think he's 6'3". I think he's muted, Peter. The phone, Mark Mann. 6'3", yeah. Is he muted or no? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure, Mark, if you had any questions, but he's muted. So, all right, we're moving forward. The resolution is approved. Steve, good job. Keep going, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. I don't know who that is. Is that Mark?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike. No, I'm good with everything. I have no questions.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Sorry about that. Just want to
Yep,
give you
no
a chance
worries.
to- Okay, bye-bye. Next thing, we have the update on the development of the 21-22 budget. Mr. Simons?
so we presented the budget at the last board meeting, and we are still looking at the expenditure side of the budget, but we haven't made any adjustments yet because we're waiting to see what happens with the state budget. It is March 31st, so we would anticipate that the state budget sometime within the next couple of days would be passed, and then we will be able to review that and determine what our revenues will be. And we hope to provide the board with as much information as possible between now and the April 14th meeting, and then present what we would be recommending at the April 14th meeting. But we don't have a lot of new information at this time, other than we're awaiting state aid. Unless, Linda, you have anything you want to add?
Thank you. Unfortunately, I do not have anything to add. We're in the waiting game right now, so hopefully, maybe even tomorrow we'll get some information.
Could be midnight tonight that I get an email from Assemblyman
Could be.
McDonald. That has happened in the past.
So I'll wait until tomorrow morning.
Very good. Okay. And we'll keep the board informed in writing about what happens with our final state budget numbers.
And I think one thing we just to think keep in mind is with the different funding mechanisms, the revenue coming in from the federal, the state aid. One thing we did this past year about the reserves and the cap on reserves, to think about doing that again this year if it's necessary for the district to go over that cap this year. That'll be a big issue in terms of that revenue that comes in and being able to use that for future years. Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. We'll now move to any questions, but before I move on to the board forum? No? Good. So I'll move to board forum and superintendent report. I'll start in the library here. On my left, Frank, anything? You're good. He's all set. And Deanna? Deanna's good. Joanne? Joanne's good. Virtually, I'll start with Jennifer. Anything? You're good? Good. John Dunn? Thumbs up. Thank you, John. Kathleen? You're good. And Mark? Assume you're good. We're still muted, Mark. Okay. I don't have anything. If Mark chimes in, we can certainly add any comments he has, but I don't have anything. We do have need for an executive session for matters of personnel discussion. We don't anticipate any board business after the executive session, so I need a motion to move into executive session. Deanna, I need a second. Kathleen, all those in favor? Very good. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for the team who came in about the building. And again, no business after the board meeting, so everyone had a good night.